I realized that art was my calling, when I saw how it affected people. The same way it affected me. It put smiles on their face. It allowed them to see past my skin color. It allowed them to see past my age. It allowed them to see past everything, flaws or anything that was out there that people usually judge you on. I lost sight of that, for a while. And then when I came to prison, in looking for myself, I went back to the thing that, brought me the most happiness, and that was art.
Another bank robbery with heavily armed suspects, this time in St. Louis.
At about 10:30, two heavily armed gunmen walked into the Lindell Bank and Trust on Clayton Road near Highway 40 and started shooting assault rifles. A young security guard was gunned down. They took money, then escaped in a van. One of them was caught near Hampton and Highway 40 when the getaway van crashed and caught fire. The other suspect is still on the run.
Terror inside a West End bank this morning.
The two men may have been wearing clothes on the police described as a dangerous man.
My name is Billie Allen. I'm 44 years old, and I've spent the last 25 years on federal death row for a crime I didn't commit.
I get home and I look at the news, and they're talking about this bank robbery, and then they say the name Billie Allen. And I look at the screen, and my heart literally dropped.
It was just like a shock wave through the whole family.
Oh my God.
You can't even, I can't even explain it.
Something else happened. I didn't believe it. I didn't believe he did something like that. He wasn't that type of dude at all.
I've never asked anyone to believe that I'm innocent. I've always asked people to let me show you. I was shopping at a shopping mall at the time the crime took place. So a witness came forward and told the FBI that at the time that the crime was taking place, he saw me at the shopping mall talking to people with clothes that I had bought that morning. But it was never presented at my trial.
He saw Billie at the mall at 10 a.m. This crime happened a little bit after 10:30, and that is not close enough to get from one place to the other, if that is in fact the case. The trial lawyers should have presented this witness to the jury, but they did not do so. And the fact that they did not give the jury a full picture of what actually happened in this case.
And to adjudicate his guilt or innocence without that evidence is not fair, absolutely not fair.
You also look at the gasoline reports. They were done because the getaway van was soaked in gasoline, and the government's own forensic expert testified that whoever was in this van would have had gasoline on their clothes. But when they tested Holder's clothes, all of his came back positive. When they tested my clothes, they came back negative. They claimed that they took notes of this alleged confession. They said I demanded to confess to this crime. But yet there's no recordings, there's no video, there's no signed statement, there's nothing showing that a confession ever took place.
My first thought is that it's total bullshit. When you look at the story that he gives, this isn't the way people talk. He hits on every single detail that they would need for this confession. It just screams that there's something major wrong here, that they are not being forthcoming about how this so-called confession happened.
The government's own negative DNA were tested against me and the victims, and it came back negative.
There was a bloody strap that was found in the getaway car, in the van.
The origin of that bloodstain was not the victim, Mr. Heflin, or Billie Allen. And that leaves open a whole bunch of other possibilities.
They also did not run that through the national DNA testing system. Ever since we've been in the case about 13 years ago, we started asking the courts to test those items. And from the district court, federal district court, to the circuit court, up to the US Supreme Court, we asked everybody, and it's always been denied. If you think if this crime happened today, right, everything would be tested for DNA. It's just routine. So the fact that the government is just continues after all these years continues to refuse to do this is just kind of mind-boggling.
That would be grounds for a retrial, I would think. I mean, there may be something that they failed to disclose in those reports. How do you know if you haven't seen them?
What are they afraid of? That it will unravel their case? Well, if that's the situation, that's what should happen, because that would be just.
You would think that prosecutors and defense attorneys would work together to achieve justice and get the right result, but they don't.
Our justice system has criminalized a lot of people, wrongfully convicted a lot of people, executed a lot of innocent people. I believe this is one of the people that we need to stand behind, put all of our manpower behind, and assist in getting home.
I don't think anybody that knew him or knows him could have ever connected Bill with any sort of crime like this.
Billie Allen is a good-hearted, kind, considerate individual.
I think Billy's probably one of the most selfless people I know.
Being selfless enough to be in a situation where, you know, it should be all about yourself, but yet, even in the midst of all of it, he still puts family first.
He is a kind and loving, wonderful person, a good man.
I was called a murderous dog. You know, this is something that stuck with me for years. You know, they consider me to be an animal. They said I deserved to die for something I didn't do. You know, and they wanted to take my life. So I said, okay, let me find a way to show people through my art that I'm human. And the more people start looking at my art, you see my humanity. You know, my pain isn't something that cripples me. It motivates me, you know, and so when I get mad, I don't lash out at people. I lash out with a paintbrush.
Allow me to show that I can be the American dream. You know, that's the thing. I believe in it. I've lost hope in it at times, but I've always believed in it. You know, and to me, that's all I want. I just want my chance to be the person that I know I am.
Everybody's got a right to live. Everybody's got a right to live. And before this game takes place, we'll all go down to jail. Everybody's got a right to live.